Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, if you're at a different time zone than France. Pleasure to be with you again. Second Friday of the month. Welcome to the talk. Just as a reminder, if you want to turn your cameras on, it's always a pleasure to see you, and we're on Zoom, so it doesn't prevent, it's not a problem. You can have your camera on. For those who join us for the first time, welcome to the talk. What gathers us together in these half-hour sessions is the fact that you're connected to Savoir-Relier, which is our leadership development method. If you have your microphone on and you're not talking, it may create a bit of sound. Maybe Céline, you have your microphone on, and there's a sound in the background that will help. And of course, these sessions are all interactive, so we really are here to share. The purpose of these moments are to share, to put on the table some ideas, some suggestions. It's a very open talk. And we really welcome and encourage you to share your experience, to share your point of view. Every talk we have a different topic. So this evening is stepping outside of your comfort zone, and it's an important topic for us because with Savoir-Relier, as you all know, we feel it's a way of progress to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, to try and experience new environments, to share with people who don't think the way you do. Or maybe Catherine, you have your microphone on, I don't know. So making sure that you, by stepping outside your comfort zone, you open yourself to different views, to opposing view possibly, and you test yourself. Challenging yourself and testing yourself is a way of progress. We have experienced with the Savoir-Relier approach, using resilience as a step forward to test your ability to face adversity and bounce back. And that's one of our exercises that helps you better understand what are your limits and how you overcome adversity. We also very simply, in our first step of the Savoir-Relier, use the solo. The solo is an exercise that engages you in reflexivity, in looking at yourself with a different light, in looking at your relational competence and trying to analyze yourself. So all of our approach with the Savoir-Relier is to help you engage and better understand yourself and open up to others with respect to developing yourself and developing others. So as always, and particularly this week, we opened the dialogue to maybe help you take a step outside of your comfort zone. Maybe some of you have done so. If you want to share what you've done and what happened, or if in your practice, in your business environment, or simply in your life, you are in situations where you're not in your comfort zone, can you share with us what happens, how you experience it, how you face those situations, how you manage to control emotions, how you manage to simply overcome those situations? And when you do it, do you force yourself into it, or does it happen? So please, the floor is yours. Just raise your hand or turn your microphone on and take the floor, and we'll let you talk. And I see maybe someone who has a green light on your, or hand up. Welcome, Klaus. I think it's the first time you're here, Klaus. I see some of my former students present, so it's always nice. So who wants to talk to begin with? It's always hard to be the first one. Sometimes I have to call. Sahana, you're here. Is it Sahana? The Sahana I know?
Hello, Valerie. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm fine.
Nice to see you. And nice to be here.
Same here. So maybe if you want to keep the mic and share a moment outside of your comfort zone and share with us some of your experience and what you've learned from such a moment.
Well, the moment that comes to mind is when I decided to take on a company that was going to close down. And I think I was 7 months pregnant. So it was definitely something that I, improvised and not really thought through, I guess, but definitely outside my comfort zone. It's one of the good decisions that I made. But I won't be able to, what did I learn from it? I wouldn't have done it any other way, actually. So I'm not sure how I could, get lessons from it. Just thinking out of the top of my head. It felt
Maybe how you
very...
were prepared for it, Sahana, because I know you've been through the MBA program and you've experienced some of the Savoir-Relier mindsets that we're now practicing on a systematic basis. Maybe being prepared for it, or what are the qualities or skills that you think that you've had that helped you face that moment of being pregnant and buying a company that was about to close. So that's quite a challenge.
Well, I think what really motivated me is so what was not outside comfort zone is the motive of the company, which was to work in emerging markets and solve a problem that would help people. So that was something that kept me going. I think one of the things that, well, the MBA teaches you and then you kind of take on is the confidence to kind of talk to anyone and, solve any problem face on. So I think that was something that I already had. The part that was a bit out of comfort zone is that I was going to have a baby. So I didn't really figure out how we were going to make this work. But I think thinking back, it really, and sorry, that's the second one that's making some noise. But thinking back, I think really trying to make a mark for myself, I think that drives me. To be able to stand out, do something that not everyone does, which is, what I did when I chose to do the MBA as well. So that launches the conversation. I don't know if it gives a lot of food for thought for others.
Well, and you have very active children around you. So thank you very much, Sahana, for sharing. And one thing that I will pick on what you just said is some of the motivation came out of the sense of purpose that you found in this endeavor, and that definitely is one of the key elements of drive, of pushing you, whatever the situation, to move forward. And clearly it's an important point for us, that notion of sense of purpose that can help you overcome or move into situations that are not the most obvious at first. So thank you very much for sharing. Anybody else wants to share a moment outside of your comfort zone that you've been in, either on a deliberate basis, or wanting to do it, or being faced with it? I see Klaus who's here. Anybody, come on. I would not like to be like a professor calling names.
Okay, guys, I will do something here.
Benjamin,
I will participate. I will share. Yes. So yes, I'm a French guy, so I got a strong accent. So sorry, I'm into an airport right now in Montreal, and so what I'm going to share here is that I have been just quick background, working with a multinational company and expatriate, and it has been, I will say, a big decision here to decide to become local, so likely to drop. We all know worldwide, that the French system is pretty comfortable, to look forward for retirement, because at the end we have kids, we are trained to have a comfortable life, to raise our kids, to get good education, and we have been living, for 10 years in US. So still under contract and things like that. So, and now you will tell me it's probably an example of a rich guy, but not really. We have 3 kids, and I think what matters is, I think we are working now from, we want to have fun at work, but we are also dedicated, to the education of our kids, for their future, for their good, to have our family, I will say, comfortable. So it requires, I will say, some optimism and believing in the future, I will say, to be able to move forward and get into those, I would say, uncomfortable zone, I will say, that is likely going to challenge yourself, at succeeding, getting new experience, higher level of life, I would say, and that's a big switch that we are deciding to do right now. I'm got work permits, everything is new again here, new administrations, each time it's second time we are doing it, and we are just struggling again with all the administration, all the but we believe it's worth it. It's there is some even salary being decreased, even if the position is higher, because there is some tax conversions of money, being lower, and things like that. But I think it doesn't really matter. I think what you need is to be happy, in your job and happy in your life. So that's
so happiness would be your drive.
What? Yes. Yeah.
So
we're trying to...
your drive would be linked to happiness and making people around you happy and facing uncertainty, overcoming that. Okay. Thank you, Benjamin.
So that's a big, that's just trying to give you a big things, but that's the experience I got right now.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you for sharing. Olga, you have your hand up. You've had your hand up for a while. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. As an introduction, I'm Olga Wendlin, and I was a participant in 𝐓𝐡𝐞 MBA program in 2002-2004. So the experience I'd like to share is when I was changing the industries that I've did several times in my life, as probably many of us, but this industry was a particular one because it was close to the rocket science. So when I came to the company and I applied for a job, the reason I did it was because I was very interested in what the company was doing, and I was extremely willing to learn. And that was a motivation, that was a challenge, and I like challenges as well. But I remember the first meeting on a deal that I came into, being a part of a commercial team. And I remember sitting in the meeting and not understanding a word, because everybody was speaking with the acronyms about the terms that I had no idea about. And that was my first day. So getting out of the meeting, I had a bit of the cold feet, of course. But what I did is that I basically spoke with the people. I went one by one to all the participants of this meeting afterwards and just said, look, I'm new. Can you explain? Can you explain what you're doing? Can you explain what, how it relates to my job? And I think that was the best strategy, at least that worked for me, is first admitting I don't know something, just, help me, and asking people and speaking with people and asking to help. And people are so much open and willing to help. That's what I found from that experience, basically.
Thank you very much, Olga. Well, yeah, you're mentioning, Sahana was talking about confidence. You're talking about culture, different culture. We always talk about change and challenges and wanting challenges, motivation. One thing that all of you have in common in what you're saying, stepping out of your comfort zone requires one key skill that we do emphasize in Savoir-Relier as well, is this one learning posture, the willingness to learn. So the humility and accepting that like the more you know that you don't know, that you're open to learning, which is always necessary to manage. And also this openness, reaching out, your ability to, even though you're not comfortable, even though you may not speak the language, reaching out to others and engaging the dialogue as we do in the duo, creating the conditions for the dialogue to be possible. That clearly are some of the skills that we encourage in developing, so that you improve yourself and you make that step forward in reaching out to whatever the context, even if it's difficult, to overcome these difficulties and reach out. So thank you very much for sharing, Olga. I see Taslim is with us. Taslim, you want to share a moment outside of your comfort zone?
Hi, like this one. It's good to see you again. I'm sorry I dialed in late. Hi everyone. I'm Taslim from Senegal. I guess maybe the thing that I can share, if I don't know if you're hearing me, Valerie, but
Yes, I am.
maybe coming back, like leaving everything behind when I was leaving the US to come back home to Senegal, in an industry which, despite the fact that it had been the family business for a long time, it was an industry that I knew nothing about. That was very traditional construction. When I came from finance and tech and consulting. And then, the particular setup of working within the context of a family business, which was going to be the first time. So that was quite uncomfortable. It's still uncomfortable 8 years later. I'm still learning every day to kind of navigate through those dynamics. But I guess that forces you to grow, and, try to, seek help to, I won't say make you feel more comfortable, but equip you better to deal with the challenges that new situations kind of bring to bear, and try to make the most out of it. So I kind of live constantly in an uncomfortable zone. So, which is, I hope that one gets better.
So, Taslim, what would you say are the most important skills that you use to manage this new environment and to adapt?
That's a tough question. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's always a good thing to kind of try to take with yourself as you face these situations.
I think you're breaking.
It's always a good thing to kind of always. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking a little bit. If it's not me.
Yeah, it's breaking.
Okay, sorry, Taslim. We're losing you a little bit.
But what I was saying is, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, on and off.
Okay, so I'll try to go quick. So I guess just beware of your own kind of feelings as you're dealing with the situations that you're uncomfortable with, and try to be very aware of your biases at the moment that you're trying to try to handle or navigate the situation. It's learning to do a bit more, and always kind of taking that critical view and taking a step back from myself, kind of to better assess situations and how best to navigate them. So that's one thing I've learned, mostly from our conversations as well, Valerie, and that I'm trying to apply. It's not always simple, but that's one tool that I'm trying to use more frequently and more systematically.
Thank you very much for sharing, Taslim. Anybody else wants? Oh yes, Klaus, and then we have Aruke. So Klaus.
So hello, I hope everybody can hear me. I'm Klaus. I participated in the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 MBA program in 2004, 2005. So one intake after you, Olga. Maybe we have seen on campus for a short time. Yeah, actually, what I want to share is in stepping out of my comfort zone is not a particular event or particular time when I stepped out, but more an experience I made or I make regularly when I step out of my comfort zone on a voluntary basis. What I usually did in the past, and I'm still doing to some extent, but trying actually to do less, is not. I spend a lot of time preparing for everything that I thought could happen out of my comfort zone. And actually, what I learned is it was often a waste of time for stepping out of the comfort zone, because actually what happened were many different things, but not what I prepared for. And that's my big lesson, and that's why I said I'm trying now to actually prepare less, but actually do it. Because, yeah, it's just my experience. I mean, still preparing still makes sense because it might help to feel better, to calm down a bit. But again, my experience is, well, don't prepare too much. If you're standing for something, you think it's your value, it's what you stand for, then step out and do it. Maybe some things happen which might make you feel uncomfortable, but just do it. That's my experience I wanted to share.
Thank you, Klaus. Thank you, Klaus. And I think behind what you say, there is still that notion of confidence. Do it, try it, push yourself, push your limits to some extent, and be ready. If you're confident, if you have self-confidence, if you've worked on yourself, and if you're not necessarily prepared for whatever topic, because as Nassim Nicholas Taleb says in the Black Swan, he explains how we cannot predict everything. So we have to be prepared to let ourselves be surprised and be taken aback and be in front of situations that we have not prepared for or planned. It doesn't mean that you cannot face them. And same thing as we were saying with Olga, the learning posture, the deliberate will to do, to act, to improve yourself, and that notion of sense of purpose, which is also an important drive that Sahana was mentioning as well. So thank you, Klaus. This is also a very important point.
Yeah.
Aloke, you have. Sorry, Klaus.
May I say one more sentence?
Yes, please.
What I also try, or my learning experience is, I try to be generous with myself and allow myself to be, or to step voluntarily in an embarrassing situation at least once a day. And just to allow myself to come into an embarrassing situation and not take it as a failure.
Yeah, that's great. Great poster. I see. Okay, I see the Klaus I know, the learning and the pushing. Thanks for sharing, Klaus. It's a pleasure to hear you. Aloke, you also had your hand up.
Yes, Klaus, I would like to thank you for suggesting your tip, because I'm still learning and I would definitely like to try your tip one day and experience that. So I was about to tell that after my schools, like I had to choose between two career options. One was entirely like biological and medical studies, about which I was very interested. But due to certain terms and conditions and cutoffs set by the government, I had to choose engineering studies based on electronics, coding, etc. And frankly speaking, I had no idea. Like I didn't know anything like where I should place a comma or a full stop. I had no idea. Then what happened is like I used to push myself, but I couldn't get the hang of it. So I remember my initial days where I used to stare at every people whom I used to think as nerds, because everybody used to do fine, whereas I cannot do a single thing. So it was very frustrating to discover myself in a field about which I had no idea. But yes, with time, I learned a lot, especially I utilized my lockdown days in learning, and now I'm pretty much caught up. So I feel like it was a challenge, the pressure of the working environment, and yes, like going along the flow, going along the flow, allowing myself to go along the flow, which led me to come out of my comfort zone and to be successful in learning. And yes, still I'm facing some difficulties for advanced learning, but yeah, that's it.
Thank you, 𝐓𝐴. One thing that Philippe likes to talk about, which I think you are mentioning in what you say, is the curiosity that you had to go out towards a topic that is not familiar to you. So that curiosity is so important in moving forward. Maybe Philippe, you want to say something?
Well, I can actually just build on this, because back also to Klaus' point about how you practice getting outside of your zone of comfort, which is sort of curiosity. You say, I'm going to try something new today, etc. The point that bringing those two comments together is that very often when we want to get outside our zone of comfort is because there is something important. Career change, big decisions. We were talking about, this move to Canada and change the culture, etc. See, they're always big decisions. So we actually have to get outside our zone of comfort in critical times. Now, there's a very strong link between getting outside of the zone of comfort and confidence, self-confidence. And we work a lot with Valérie and Camilla and Camille on this, confidence building. And part of this is something that you create over time. And I like this idea of getting outside of your zone of comfort on a regular basis on small things, because then you realize that the risk you thought you were taking actually is not a risk. And most of the time it turns out to be, positive and nice and so not so complicated. So you start to get used to this and say, maybe I can actually push the limit a bit further. And one day there will be a big one coming up and you will be kind of prepared. So there's a work that you can do in preparation of those big events that calls for getting outside of a zone of comfort. So that's a practice that is kind of important. And the curiosity of that can be, as Klaus said, every day, in every situation, personal, professional, or what have you. So it's an interesting comments that very productive, yeah.
And unfortunately, because always in those sessions time flies, we have time for one more comment or question. And while you're preparing to raise your hand and speak up, maybe let me say one thing that maybe would be an opportunity for you to step out of your comfort zone. You know that we have opened, or maybe you don't know, but here I'm telling you that we have opened moments to practice the duo. If you have not done duos yet, then a reminder, a duo is a moment of exchange for two persons who have previously written what we call a solo, which is a self-reflection written document that you will share for your duo. We have created moments of duos, duo time. The next one is next Thursday at 1 p.m. French time. And if you want to join, then you will be in a position and in a moment to share your solo and engage in this moment of exchange that is so special and so strong with someone from the group or someone who's simply connected to Savoir-Relier at some point in their life or career, who wants to join and is ready to engage in a duo. The only condition to join is to have written a solo before and to meet at that moment and to engage, and we'll place you in private rooms where you can have this private conversation with one person that you don't know, but who's willing to exchange and share with you. Those duos are often, before you start, a critical moment of engaging in a dialogue where there is no judgment, there's no intention, there's no expectation, just a moment of sharing, human interaction, but also a moment where you will test your relational competence by being a good listener, being open, and sharing quite important matters usually, because the solo has raised has had a good impact for you, looking back at yourself through our series of questions. So we would like to welcome you to those duo moments. You can, Camilla, maybe say a couple of words of how you can do your solo if you don't have your written document before you join. And if you already do, then it's simply a question of being there and meeting someone, and it's totally open and free for anyone who wants to join.
Yeah, I put the link to get the duo notifications before the event, just as the talk. We also have notifications for the duo, so you can go on the link, and it has details about how it works. And we are soon putting on our website also the possibility to do the solo. So you just have to log in, and then you can do follow steps and do the solo. So you can have your solo ready for the duo. So you'll be able to do these two elements in our website.
And it's a great opportunity for you to expand on what we do in those talks, which are, again, just 30 minutes to connect and be together and open up on different topics. It's an opportunity also for you to practice those so important skills that we know by doing solo, you will grow your self-confidence. By doing duos, you will build trust with other people. You will clearly use those skills and qualities that are so important in stepping outside of your comfort zone, adapting to new situations, engaging in new adventures, creating value, building new businesses, all those aspects of your lives and career that we know Savoir-Relier contributes to improve. So we look forward to meeting you again in our next talk. And in the meantime, if you want to connect with one another and meet new people, engage in duos, we'll be happy to guide you. Just go to the link and follow the different steps. And looking forward to more. Maybe Philippe, you want to say?
Just a little last question that Sahana shared in the chat.
Okay.
Find the reaction. She said, I have a question. I'm curious to know if others have a period of procrastination or restlessness before actually knowing what steps to take that then makes it outside one's comfort zone.
Restlessness. Yeah.
I do a lot of that. Usually long periods before then I actually do something to change something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's linked to confidence, or maybe it's just a way of figuring out what to do. I'm not sure what it is exactly. That's why I'm just curious if it's something that others, who have taken that step outside the comfort zone also kind of go through.
Yeah, procrastination is really a tough one.
I have one tip I learned from extreme sports. I usually do ramp figure skating and things like that. And I got really scared when it comes to ramps over 3 meters high. And at that point, I put something on my mind that was, you only have to make the first step. When you're in the ramp and you're on top, you have like 1 second of courage to have. You have just to, jump in. And after that, you're already doing whatever, if it's falling or not falling. So I take that in other things in my life too, because I know, for example, to do something that's complicated, usually you have like 1 action that you have to trigger. And after that, it's too late, So I try to find the courage to do just this small step, but that you cannot go back after it.
Get it started. Thank you, Camila. This is a great story and great example. Maybe one last point of something that's been said several times in your stepping out of your comfort zone. It's the question of fears. You've used the word fear several times, and managing your fears, overcoming your fears, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone by managing your fears. That's one critical element of learning as well. And that procrastination thing is, you ignite and you go. And once you go, probably as you did, Sahana, when you got into that new adventure with a new company, is that once you've done it, then you're in it. So you just have to follow.
Then you have to roll. You can't stop.
Exactly. Alain Paul Martin, you had your hand up also. One last word.
Oh, your mic is closed.
Your mic is not on. We don't hear you. Sorry, you're talking, but we don't see your microphone. And Klaus has his hand up too. Sorry, Anna, we can't hear you. Maybe your microphone, bottom left of your screen. Up. So Klaus, in the meantime, while Alain Paul Martin has his microphone on, Klaus, you have your hand up too?
I just want to share one idea regarding procrastination, an idea which actually is an idea for any change you want to do. Like if you procrastinate, you want to actually start earlier and want to get things done. So we want to change the way how you behave and how you act. And the idea is to ask yourself, what kind of benefit do you get from the behavior you're doing? So what kind of benefit do you get from procrastination? And if you really find that out, either by thinking or by talking to your friend or partner, you might get to the root cause of procrastination or whatever you want to change in your behavior. And once you know why you were actually doing it, the benefit, then you might find a way to change it.
Yeah, clearly.
Just as an idea.
Yeah, okay, good point, Klaus.
Thank you.
So,
okay. Thank you very much, Professor Gauthier. It will be short. Professor, there's a book about teams called True North, where a group of people get together on a regular basis and play scenarios in a safe environment to face real life situations. So my friends and I get together maybe once every 7 or 8 weeks for the last 10 years. And each time one of us brings an issue that keeps us up at night, and we try to help each other in the process. And there is no necessity to participate, so it's voluntary. We are a group of about 11 people, and usually 5 or 6 of us will get together every time.
That's great.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much. It's a great tip as well, and something that we definitely value. We talk about trustees of groups of people who have something in common and have done duos together, and there's a strong links of trust between them, and they indeed on a regular basis meet with each other and connect and share moments like resilience moments or situations or strategic decisions they have to make. And that definitely is a great advice. Thank you very much.
Professor Bill George wrote about it. The name of the professor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for the questions.
Thank you all. It was always, as always, it was a pleasure to be with you. We look forward to our next talk. We will post the next topic as we go. We welcome your suggestions for a topic of interest for you. So we always actually find a topic that comes from you. So please don't hesitate to share some of your ideas or things you want to talk about. And we'll carry on the same tone, same approach, keeping up with the Savoir-Relier. And again, if you're available on Thursday, next Thursday, join for a moment of duo and meet with one of us, whoever is available. Looking forward to more. Thank you again so much, and see you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.